When you went into the restroom, did you have this substance with you that you smeared onto the toilet seat? Did you already have that ready to go?
No, sir.
So you went in empty-handed, so to speak?
Yes, sir.
And you went in and defecated in the women's restroom, correct?
Yes, sir.
How long did that take?
I don't know, a minute.
Did you use toilet paper to clean yourself after doing that?
Yes, sir.
And where did you deposit that toilet paper?
Trash can?
Not in the toilet itself?
No, sir.
What did you do next in the women's restroom after putting the toilet paper into the trash can?
I pulled my pants up.
And
fastened my duty belt.
That's former San Antonio cop Matthew Luckhurst. He was in a deposition there trying to get his job back. This is back in 2020. As they were asking him questions about him defecating in the women's restroom at the police station there, and leaving it. In fact, smearing other stuff all over the seat as well. This was disgusting, but really fast, because you saw that last question when he said, "What'd you do with your pants afterwards?" And look at his face as he says, "I pulled them up and put on my duty belt." Watch that part again.
I pulled my pants up
and
fastened my duty belt.
Fastened my duty belt. What's with his face? It's really weird. But so in case you're wondering what the hell this guy was doing this for, went to the women's restroom, took a huge dump, and then smeared a substance also on the seat. He's like, this is disgusting. He lost his job over it. But let's have him explain why he did this. Go ahead, Luckhurst, tell us.
I entered the women's restroom and noticed a whiteboard on a wall with a handwriting on it, a handwritten message, and there was 2 posters in the locker room. I noticed the handwriting to be Tisha Justice. I said something along the lines of "No boys allowed." I saw the posters on the wall of like The Rock, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and I believe the other was Ryan Gosling, who's an actor. And I saw those as kind of taking jokes and poking at us that we're not as muscular or good looking, just little barbs between us, brother, sister. I just thought it'd be a funny prank to play on Tisha.
A funny prank that Tisha was not very happy to come across. In fact, I think it was actually another female officer that came across it. It was a prank. They were making fun of us. They had Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson up there. They had Ryan Gosling, and they said we don't look as good as them, so I smeared poop all over the place. What the hell? I don't see what the problem is. So that was that arbitration case for that case. He actually lost that one, but previous to that, he'd lost his job before for another poop incident, because this guy has a thing for poop. When he handed a homeless guy a sandwich filled with dog poop in it, because he likes handling poop for some reason. That case he appealed and won somehow. Got his job back and decided to do another poop prank, this time on his fellow officers. Really fast on that appeal case that he won. Luckhurst won his appeal case for the feces sandwich incident from March of 2019, after his legal representation was able to capitalize on a section of the local government code that prevents law enforcement agencies from disciplining an officer for conduct that occurred outside of a 180-day window. So they act a little bit too slowly. Maybe they wanted to, or maybe they knew about this whole thing and they can't pursue things further. So he's let off the hook to go back to his disgusting ways. Really fast, because I want to give details of what is it happened in that particular instance. Here, listen to this, Emily. The officer's accused of putting feces on bread, putting it on a styrofoam carryout container, and putting it next to a homeless person. The chief says the officer told his bike patrol partner what he had done, because this is fun, let me brag about it. And the partner told him to take back the feces sandwich. So he supposedly walked back or rode back, took the container and threw it in the trash can. That's what the chief said. Now the story circulated through the department and it triggered an internal affairs investigation in July of that year as well. And then last week, Chief McManus fired Luckhurst. Again, that was back in 2019. He said it was a practical joke. Again, this guy's big on his jokes. That's what the chief described how Luckhurst characterized what happened. So Jordan, this guy's got a track record. he likes to handle poop, be it human feces or dog feces, but he likes to give it to folks that he thinks are having a good time. Keeps losing his job though.
Yeah, this guy is a psychopath. From his facial expressions to his behavior, he just really rubs me the wrong way. He seems extremely creepy. The fact that he was able to keep his job after the first instance shows really where they take issue. It wasn't that he did this to somebody who was homeless. They didn't really care about that. And sure, he got off on a technicality, but once he actually did something offensive to a fellow officer, that's when they took serious offense and really took action. And it shows like who they really serve and who they protect. It's certainly not for people who need the most help in society. It's not the most vulnerable. It is the most protected. It is their fellow officers. It is people within their police union and the FOP and capitalist interests. So, I mean, time and time again, we see instances of people who have nothing to their name getting abused by a cop and there's no repercussions. But if a cop hurts another cop, if a cop hurts someone who's wealthy, if a cop hurts someone who's white and wealthy, then they might run into consequences. But if they are black, if they are marginalized, if they are poor, if they are homeless, it's fine. One final thing though, we hear from the right all the time about trans people going into girls' bathrooms. We got to keep them out of girls' bathrooms. We need to protect our bathrooms. And who's doing it? Here's the one instance of it happening, and it's a cop. Spare me on this pearl clutching about trans people, because here's your instance. Where's the right? They should be up in arms about this.
Get rid of these cops that like to go in women's bathrooms and disrespect our female officers. Let's point out from this poop story about how he disrespected his female officers. Graphic 5, you guys, because one of the officers came and she was pregnant. She was very nauseous when she saw it. But this is what else he did besides leaving his big log in there. According to San Antonio police termination documents, Luckhurst and another male officer went into the bike patrol office and defecated in the women's restroom and didn't flush. We knew that part. Luckhurst and the other officer obtained a brown substance with the consistency of tapioca and put it on the toilet seat to make it look like it was there was fecal matter there. He basically took a boba tea and took the boba and tried to smear it. And he said it was too gelatinous, so it didn't look like poop as much. They didn't find it till the next day. It had been like 24 hours, so it was all dried out and looked disgusting, as well as his actual poop that was in the toilet unflushed. Here's the biggest part about this whole thing. Sorry I held it to the end, but this is, you guys should know this part because this is how police work goes. State records show that the Floresville Police Department, which is 30 miles outside of San Antonio, hired Luckhurst as a reserve officer 5 months after this last firing. He's back in uniform. But the fact that Luckhurst can still carry a gun and wear a badge illustrates why the state's disciplinary process for bad cops needs to be completely overhauled. That's according to a new state report. The state's regulation of law enforcement personnel and agencies is by and large toothless, is what the Sunset Advisory Commission concluded in a recent deep dive, Jordan, study of the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement, the agency responsible for licensing police and corrections officers. He's gonna keep getting these jobs and he's gonna keep smearing poop. He's gonna keep putting it near people because he thinks it's funny. And the reason why he keeps thinking that is because he keeps getting away with it. He's still working.